Welcome to the Idaho Business Podcast, where we talk with local entrepreneurs, share motivation, network with one another, and pick up a tip or two on how not to burn your business to the ground. I'm your host, Spencer Ward. All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode. As always, we're sponsored by Health West, great medical, great group, great people. Google them where they're closest to you and give them a try with your family. Also, my company, New Clean Commercial Cleaning. If you need any janitorial needs, from carpet cleaning to stripping and waxing, to all the toilet scrubbing needs, call us at 208-254-7070. We're servicing from Twin Falls all the way to Rexburg. Let us know that you heard about us on the podcast, and we will give you one free service, no strings attached. I've been thinking about subjects that we maybe haven't covered enough lately. And I stumbled upon, let's talk about customer service. Let's talk about the life of the customer and how they see it and how we see it. And I think that's something, there's a gap there that we need to address. So one of the biggest mistakes I see business owners making, and this is including me at times, made them all, guys, is thinking the sell is the finish line. We get the sell, we work hard for it, we impress them, we got our nice polo shirts on, and we get to sell and we're like, oh yeah, we got it, baby. We celebrate, we crank some tunes, we do whatever we like to do to get the juices flowing. And then we sometimes forget about the customer experience. Okay. Anybody can get a customer once. The real challenge is keeping them. The companies that dominate their markets aren't always the cheapest. They aren't always the best. They simply make it easier to do business with them more than anyone else. Today, I just want to talk about the customer experience, customer retention, reducing the customer churn, complaint resolution, and how to create customers who never want to leave. Yeah, I said that. You can have customers for a long, long time, guys. If you guys that have been in business for decades, some of you might know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I've had customers. You're probably thinking, I've got customers that are with me for 15 years or 10 years or 20 years. That's awesome. It means you're doing some things right. Okay. All right. Marketing costs money. Okay. Sales costs money. Replacing customers costs money. The old saying is true. It's cheaper to keep an existing customer than to acquire a new one. I'm telling you, that is oh so true. Even Harvard Business Review found that increasing customer retention by just 5% can increase profits by 25 to 95%. Obviously, depending on the industry you're in, depending on the type of customers you're servicing, that's huge. Okay, so think about that. Many business owners spend all their time looking for new customers while neglecting the ones that are already paying them. Okay, it's like pouring water into a bucket full of holes. We've talked about the sailboat full of holes, or the rowboat full of holes. That's exactly what's happening here. Before you spend another dollar on marketing, ask yourself, how well are we taking care of the customers we already have? Okay, and I'm telling you guys, left or right, you can always improve on this. This is something that I felt like I've spent a lot of time on with our company, but I'm always going back to think, how can we make this even better? And most owners only think about the service they provide. Customers experience much more than that. Okay, their journey starts before they even become a customer. What did your website? Wow, if I could talk today, what did their website look like? How long did it take for someone to answer the phone? How quickly did they receive a proposal? How was onboarding? How was communication after the sale? Did you ghost them? Did you just think, hey, they're just going to wait now, wait their turn to get service, or wait their turn to buy my product because they already committed? No, guys, come on. Okay. How are issues handled when they come up? How do they feel after 6 months? That's a big one. Every interaction leaves an impression. As Jeff Bezos said, your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. I like that a lot. Never heard that, but I really like that. Customer experience is your brand, not your logo, not your website, Not your marketing. The experience is your brand. And that's huge. That's huge. Guys, I'll tell you right now, I'm not the guy that'll leave negative reviews. Mainly probably because I own a couple businesses, and I know what negative reviews can do to a company's uh, exposure on the internet or just in public. I will, if I do have a terrible experience with a company, I will talk to the owner. I will talk to the foreman or the manager, and I'll let them know what our experience was like. I want to give them a chance to be able to fix it and to prove themselves differently as they follow into another customer's path. So think about that. Like, look at your reviews. Can you read all of them and honestly say, even some bad ones, and say, yeah, we messed up that. Or are you just constantly saying, no, it's so and so, it's that's a fake review, or they didn't like me, or that's why they got a review. No, have some I don't know, some reflection as you go through that and think, where can I learn from this? Yeah, I understand when you do have jaded employees at times who come on and we'll send some, nasty reviews. I get that kind of stuff. But even when it comes to that, find the truth. Is there any truth in that? And then take it to heart. And obviously, if some of it to heart, not all of it. There's some crazy people out there. Many owners believe customer experience is the product or service. It's not. Customer experience is how easy you are to do business with. A customer can tolerate an occasional mistake. Uh, what they won't tolerate is feeling ignored. I felt that way many, many times, guys. Calls not returned, emails unanswered, messages disappear into a black hole. That's where relationships break down. If you're a one person business, use some technology in your life. Okay. Don't don't just say, well, I'm the one that's doing all of it. It's just me. I'm the one hammering the nails. I'm the one that's taking calls. I'm the one editing my own website. I'm the one doing the bookkeeping. I get that. You're starting out, but you don't have to be foolish. You're making some money. Implement some technology. Okay. Use an AI phone assistant. I'm sure you've all seen them on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, anywhere. They're advertising these assistants that are answering your phone for you. Can answer frequently asked questions. You can respond intelligently until you're able to get back to that person. It gives them some sense of like, hey, they've taken a couple steps to increase the customer experience even when they're not available. And that's fantastic. Okay. Use an answering service. There's a live answering services you can employ. Use automated acknowledgments. Do something. Customers don't necessarily expect immediate solutions. They expect immediate acknowledgement. A simple message like, hey, thanks for bringing this to our attention. We're looking into this and we'll update you tomorrow. You can save a customer relationship just with that small sentence. Silence creates frustration. Communication creates trust. That's the biggest thing when I'm talking to my staff and management. If I see an email come in and it takes them, more than a couple hours to get back to them, I'm getting on their tails. You know, Now I will say this because with a sense of uh, well, let's just say this with the understanding that first of all, I only check my email twice a day. Okay, so if you're getting back to people, twice a day when they're responding to you, I feel like that's good. If you're not getting back to them at all within, at that 8 hour period, that's not acceptable. Okay, so every business owner should have a documented process for handling customer complaints. Okay, so here's one. Respond using the most appropriate communication method. Okay. If it's a phone call that's needed, make the phone call. Don't hide behind text messages or emails when a conversation is necessary. Okay. Sometimes they need to hear your tone of your voice, the reflection of your voice, and just don't hide behind text messages and emails, guys. Sometimes that can get misconstrued, or you might be sounding, too aggressive or nonchalant. You don't care. Get a phone call. Okay. Gather all the facts and make sure you fully understand the issue. That's huge. Okay. Then communicate your plan to resolve it. That's a big one, guys. Many people are just like, yeah, I get it. Yep, I hear the complaint. All right, try to get out there in a couple hours. No, communicate a plan to resolve it. Okay, I get it. You know what? I'm going to take that on. That's on me. I'm going to go back and I'm going to retrain my guys or gals. I'm going to help them understand how to do this or how to do that. And we're going to take care of it. It's going to be handled within the next 2 hours or whatever the time frame is. Give them something to sink their teeth in. Okay. Underestimate and over deliver. Okay. That's a big one. If you say you're going to be there in 2 or 3 hours, be there in an hour and a half. You say it's going to take, 6 hours to get the job done, try to get it done in four. You know, that is such a big deal. So most customers don't expect perfection. Okay. They expect responsiveness. If you have a customer that's, expects perfection, you've got the wrong customer. Sometimes you just need a fired customer. I get that. But no company, and I say that no company is perfect. Not your Amazons, not your Microsofts, not any of these huge companies that have all the budgets in the world. None of them are perfect. Okay, so talk to the employees uh, that were involved, understand what happened, clarify expectations, discuss corrective actions. The goal isn't to find someone to blame. The goal is to solve the problem and prevent it from happening again. That's huge. Okay. So when you're talking to your employees, you know, say, hey, you did this, you did this. Say, hey, we need to understand this better. Do we need to train a little bit better on such and such? Okay. After the next service or interaction is performed, or that they go to fix that problem, verify the issue was corrected with the customer. Then as you contact the customer, ask if they're satisfied, review what was done to resolve the issue, close the communication loop. And then one of the biggest mistakes business owners make, or just businesses in general, is assuming the customer knows the issue was fixed. Tell them. That's so big, guys. Help them understand, like, we got there. This is what we saw. This is what we did. It's done now. Okay. If the issue was resolved, recognize the team members who corrected it. If it wasn't resolved, provide additional coaching and accountability. Most importantly, ask what system failed. Many reoccurring customer complaints are actually process problems, not people problems. Sometimes the solution is updating a checklist. Sometimes it's additional training. Sometimes it's improving communication. The best businesses don't just fix problems, they improve the system so the problem doesn't happen again. That's a big one. That's a big one, guys. Anything you can find, they're like, okay, if I can improve this so this problem never happens again, that's fantastic. Okay. Sometimes it's not that easy. I know we hire people, and as people, even us as business owners, we're far from perfect. And sometimes you just hire a bad egg. So a problem you experienced last month, and you're signing this employee X to go do the same service or whatever the following month, and that you're not fully sure on that employee yet, and he or she does a bad service or a lackluster job. Some of it can be employee issues, and I get it. And sometimes I'll tell you right now, and I'm not going to get on a side tangent on this. No matter how much you train a certain employee, if they're not a core values fit to your organization, it will never work. Okay, stop kicking a dead horse. Stop thinking I can continue to make this person work. Okay, that's warm body syndrome. Get that person out of your business before they poison the well. That is huge. If you knew everything you knew about this employee and their poor work ethic or their poor quality that you did when you first hired them, would you hire them again? And if the answer is no, then get the heck away from them. Bill Gates once said, your most unhappy customers are your greatest source of learning. Most businesses will view complaints as interruptions. Okay, they're not. The best businesses view them as a free feedback, A complaint often reveals a weakness in your system before it costs you multiple customers. Okay, what would you rather have, guys? You're gonna get offended and get your feelings hurt because you get one complaint, and then instead of saying, "Oh, that could be definitely on us. Maybe I should look into that and fix some problems and fix some training and fix whatever." Are you just gonna be hard headed and let a few other customers walk out the door because of the same problem? No. So stop thinking that you're perfect and your company's perfect. Treat it as a learning experience. Okay, you got to do it that way. The worst thing that can happen isn't a customer's complaining. The worst thing that can happen is a customer leaving without saying anything. Okay. Now, the goal isn't simply satisfying your customers. Okay. Satisfied customers can still leave. You want raving fans. And there's a book out there called Raving Fans. You should read it all. Okay. People who tell their friends about you, people who leave reviews, people who refer businesses your way or just business your way, people who become an ambassador for your company. How do you create that? Do you do what most businesses won't? Answer the phone, respond quickly, communicate clearly, own mistakes, solve problems, do what you say you're going to do. Consistently build trust. Okay. Trust builds loyalty. Loyalty builds referrals. And that's the cheapest type of marketing you can ever have, guys. It's just having that brand that's strong enough that people are like, you know what? I love this guys. Or I love those gals. They do such a fantastic job, and they always do something X, Y, and Z, more than they say they're going to do. And I love that, and they tell those people. I'm telling you what, when I have a good experience with a customer, or not a customer, but a business, I'm the one that's I become a raving fan pretty quick. I love to help other businesses. Sometimes I don't fully know the owners, but if I have a good experience, I'm just going to refer them out. Say these guys did a fantastic job. Use them. This is what we should do as a business community. Help each other that way. Okay. So if your business is constantly fighting for new customers, don't immediately look at your marketing. Look at your customer experience. Look at your communication. Look at your complaint resolution process. I'm going to say that again. Look at your complaint resolution process. And if you're thinking, what is that? Then get something put together. You can easily put this episode into AI and say, hey, help me come up with a complaint resolution process that's going to fit my industry. If you're really having problems, that's the easy way to do it. Look at your retention, because the easiest customer to sell is often the one you already have earned. Okay? The sell is not the finish line, it's the starting line. And the business that understands that will continue to grow long after the competitors are stuck chasing the next customer. It's huge, huge, guys. We're all going to have failures. We're all going to have setbacks. And they're all learning experiences. And if you don't think any business has those issues, you're wrong. We all have issues that we're dealing with. We all have those sleepless nights. We all have those weekends that we're like, you know what, I'm going to get up and I'm going to work through the weekend a little bit. I got to make some things happen. We all have been there. Okay. So don't feel like you're on an island by yourself. We're all trying to do that. We're all trying to get better at running our businesses, but sometimes we're stuck. Sometimes we need some spurring in the right direction. So I'm hoping this episode will help with customer retention, customer plans putting into place. And then, as always, guys, as we come to a close, be happy, be grateful, and find opportunities to serve others. Okay. Having that gratitude in your life will literally change everything. Thinking of things that you're grateful for, just the simple things. Hey, I'm thankful that I woke up breathing today, because so many people aren't. So many people in the world literally just don't get to wake up the next day. Having that gratitude will literally change your attitude. So have a great week. Have a great day. Guys, go out there and make some stuff happen. Adios. That's it for today's Idaho Business Podcast. Hopefully you learned something new. And if you didn't, I've got a cheat code for you. Go to theidahobusinesspodcast.com, enter your email, and get my 20 golden rules for business. It's packed with my best advice, plus it's free. Subscribe, leave a review, share this with a friend. Until next time, keep hustling, keep laughing, and keep Idaho awesome.